is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. Once again, we're out in the shop, and before we get into today's video, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that has been watching these videos, liking, commenting, sharing, and most importantly, subscribing. When you hit that subscribe button, the algorithm pushes these videos out to more and more people. So if you could help me by hitting that subscribe button, it would do a huge help and service for the channel. If you like these videos, want to see more of them in the future, want more people to see them, that's the way to help. That's the end of my pandering for the day. So let's get into what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be taking a look at one specific gun. It's a unique AR-15 platform rifle, very accurate, very lightweight. And we're going to look at the X2 Dev Group AR-X Lightfighter. Let's check it out. As I said, this is a really cool gun we're going to be taking a look at. This is the AR-X Lightfighter by X2 Dev Group. We're going to take a look at this gun because it has some very distinct, very cool features about it. First, let's take a look how I have this thing set up, and then we'll jump in to the details. Okay, starting at the tip, this is an energetic armament AR-X. This is a 5.56 can, and I selected this can for the simple reason, two reasons. One, it's 5.56, and secondly, it's called the AR-X or the ARX. But since the gun's called the AR-X, I figured perfect can for it. Let's throw that bad boy on there. Looks good too, and it is on the Dead Air chemo mount, and the muzzle device that it's on is a forward controls chemo flash hider. Moving back from there, this bipod is an AccuTac. It's a SR5G2 bipod. I just recently picked this up. I've always had the Magpul bipods, which they're totally fine, but looking for something a little more refined, a little beefier, and I think this thing is gonna do the job. That's on a pick rail up there. Moving back, we have, of course, the Modlite PLH V2 18350. That is on an Arisaka offset scout mount, the Surefire SR07 pressure pad, in an Emissary Development cable clip. This is an EOTech Voodoo. It's a 1-10. And that is in a ScalarWorks Leap 193 mount, and it also has the offset 45 degree with the RMR on there, and that is also the ScalarWorks kick mount. If you're not familiar, these two little screws right here just mount to the Leap scope mount, and it gives you this nice platform to run an offset red dot. And then moving back from there, the only other thing on this gun is this BCM vertical foregrip and B5 buttstock Magpul pistol grip. So this gun was developed by X2. They're out of Boise, Idaho, and their goal was to make a very accurate, very lightweight gun. So without all of these accessories that I've put on here, this thing comes out of the box at about 6 pounds, which is a lightweight gun. For sure. For a 16-inch barrel, definitely a lightweight gun. We're going to get into some of the ways that they did that when we break this thing down. One of the very cool things about this gun is this handguard. These QD sockets, one on each side. You take a 1/4-inch Allen wrench and you can put it in there, unscrew it, and the whole rail comes off. The barrel, the gas block, very awesome stuff going on there. This is a full ambi lower, and I really dig this because their bolt lock, bolt release works almost identical to a Magpul bad lever. It's just in reverse. So it is clear, but you can see this little lever right here. Push that down, bolt locks to the rear, push it up, and you drop that bolt. Then, of course, on the other side, you have a mag release as well as your bolt release and bolt hold open. And then they spent a lot of time really refining all these lines on the receivers and really getting them rounded with no sharp edges that you can get hung up on gear or just bust your hands going for some controls. Nearly every part of this gun is made in-house in the USA, and that includes even down to the detents. They make their own detents. I like it when companies have that much quality control, and we're going to get into this gun a little deeper and dig into it and see what makes this thing that great of a gun. Let's check it out. In removing parts on this gun to show you a more in-depth look at it, I have to kind of dance around YouTube's restrictions a little bit. So I did take these QDs out, and those are from right here. And then that handguard just slides right off. And let's look at this. So you can see the design of this handguard with these very angled four corners. That matches up perfectly with these recesses in here, allowing you to put this handguard on one way, and that is it. It goes on the same exact fit every time with absolute ease and precision. And then it is a totally free float handguard. And as you can see, this is a trunnion that runs off the upper receiver right into these little grooves right here where that handguard would meet up with it and index. And what that does is it makes you are not mounting the handguard to the barrel nut. Therefore, you are not interfering with barrel harmonics and having any point of impact shift, which is amazing, brilliant design. So let's take a look at this barrel. This is X2's barrel. It's called the Trident barrel. And as you can see, it has really deep fluting channels in there. And what that does is it gives the barrel 300% more surface area than if it wasn't fluted. And that serves two purposes. First, it reduces weight. And secondly, it aids in heat dissipation. You have a lighter, cooler barrel that's mounted to this trunnion off the upper receiver. And when you mount this handguard on that upper receiver, you are increasing anti-rotational rigidity and longitudinal rigidity. And like I said, you're not interfering with barrel harmonics and therefore incurring point of impact shift. It's super simple, but super effective design. Another really cool thing that they did is this gas block. As you can see, there's these two screws, and on the gas journal just behind this, there are two screw holes that index with these dog nose screws. So you take those out, gas block comes off, you want to put it back on, boom, index with those holes, right back to perfect alignment every time. And then another cool thing they did, and this is patented for them, is when they designed this gun, the end user was the US military and special operations, which they required a non-adjustable gas block. So they came up with not adjustable gas block, but a tunable gas block. So you can see this little silver circle right here. That is a little insert, and the gun comes with several of these, and what they are is essentially different gas port sizes. So it depends how you're running your setup. Are you running suppressed, unsuppressed? You can change these little inserts to effectively change the gas port size and increase gas flow or decrease gas flow, depending on your setup. That's patented. That's awesome. Very cool thought and design going into this gun. They also have this is a patented charging handle for them. This is their Jackal charging handle. And as you can see, it is ambi, but the way that these little tabs, little levers work on here, you have to depress one of these levers and pull straight back to actually get it to break. And so if you're carrying it, get hung up on gear on the corner, it will not release unless it is a straight to the rear pull, which means you're not going to accidentally pull your charging handle out if it gets stuck on kit or anything like that. It has to be an intentional charge of the gun. And it's a pretty brilliant little design because you can mess with it, and if you play with it, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I'm trying to pull it back right there and it won't go. But then if I pull it to the rear, straight back, it does. And that's one of those things, like, it just is a brilliant little fix of something that I didn't even know was a problem. Kudos for that. And then I think one of the only parts on this entire gun that isn't made by X2 is this trigger. This is a Rise armament trigger. These are their safety selectors that they make in-house. But just to show you how simple this handguard is. See that lines up in those. It lines right up in these, and then boom, that's nailed in there perfectly too, and your handguard is back and you're ready to rock. Like I said, it's a very lightweight gun and also designed to be very accurate. You combine all those things, this trunnion coming off, the way that it interfaces with the handguard, the Trident barrel, the heat dissipation and the fluting, then the overall weight, the trigger, everything on this, you get this, that they claim half an MOA to quarter MOA accuracy. And this gun can outshoot me for sure, but we will take this to the range and test it. But it is a brilliant design, somebody thinking outside of the box on some of these issues in the AR-15 platform that I didn't even think were issues. So I think that's very cool. So let's take this thing to the range and see if I can get anywhere near half MOA or quarter MOA. But brilliant little design and somebody doing something new. This is the X2 Dev Group Lightfighter. Okay, so that's the X2 Dev Group AR-X Lightfighter. Cool innovation in an AR-15 platform rifle. 16-inch barrel, super lightweight, very cool gun. So this is part one. I will do a part two of this gun at the range, seeing if I can come anywhere near that half to quarter MOA. But other than that, this video is just going to be a short little cool look at that gun. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, reminding you to keep your weapons collected and keep collecting your weapons. I'll catch you next time.